Welcome class, myself Professor D.S. Rai, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, BBD Institute of Technology and Management, Lucknow. Today we will discuss material testing and construction practices, lecture 12, in which we will discuss ferrous metals, though we have already discussed in lesson 11 also, but here we will further go the ferrous metals and different property and uses. The references that I have taken is Dr. S. K. Duggal, building materials, Dr. B. C. Punemiya, building construction, Dr. Sushil Kumar, building construction, Purushottam Raj, building construction material and technique. The contents that I will cover here: the principle of cold working, yield strength, ultimate tensile strength, breaking or splitting tensile strength, thermomechanical properties, type and grade of reinforcing bar, stress strain curve, chemical composition. We will discuss one by one. Cold working, principle of cold working. The bars is stretched beyond the yield point. This is the yield point. At proof stress means 0.02, this is the yield point. And at this stage, then the load applied for stretching is unloaded. In the next cycle of loading, it is seen that yield point has been raised. This is the yield point and it has been raised up to here. This is called a strain hardening of steel. However, this higher yield point will lose and steel is restored to normal steel if we heat the bar to a high temperature of 500 to 650 degrees centigrade. After the cold working. So, see here the cold working CTD bars. This is Fe 250, this is Fe 415. The modulus of elasticity is 200 kilonewton per millimeter square. This is the strain. So, here is the proof stress 0.02 to 0.3. So, this is the basic concept of the cold working, means once a load is applied or bar is stretched up to yield point and then load is removed or tensile loading is removed and again it is reloaded, the yield point will raise up to here. This is the basic principle of the cold working. The cold twisted deformed CTD bar for the concrete reinforcement are product by this principle. The cold working is carried by twisting the bar beyond the yield point. Welding of this bar should be done with the great care, as otherwise its high strength will be lost due to its heat. Now, come to the strength. According to IS 456 2000, the characteristic strength of reinforcement steel is equivalent to the minimum yield stress or 0.2% of proof stress, 0.2% of the proof stress. The estimation of characteristic strength for the various grade of steel and their minimum percentage elongation. Yield strength. High yield strength, that is reinforcement steel used in building construction for example Fe 415 and Fe 500, that can resist the force of a stress of 415 Newton per millimeter square and 500 Newton per millimeter square when applied on it. The yield stress of the structural steel is ranging between 415 to 600 Newton per millimeter square. The yield strength, the tensile stress of material can withstand or resist without permanent deformation. In other words, yield strength is defined as the stress of material can withstand without permanent deformation. When pulling forces is applied on a steel specimen, it will elongate and stretch up to the elastic limit without deformation. It means yield strength is a stress of material at the point of end of elastic stage and beginning of plastic properties. When elastic stress is removed, material regain its shape and size without deformation. Means if the material is stretched up to the elastic limit, when the load is removed or unloaded, in that case there will be no any deformation and in the size as well as shape. The ultimate tensile strength, before going to discuss it, first of all I want to show you yes, this is the stress strength curve. This is the stress in Newton per millimeter square. This is the strain 0.2, 2%, 0.2%, 2%, 20%. See here, when the load is applied or stretched, the reinforcing bar up to elastic limit, the material or bars will regain its shape and size when load is removed or unloaded. This is the point from where the lower yield point will come and this is the upper yield point. After that, bar will come into plastic yield or plastic state without any stress. The bar will go on a long strain. After a strain hardening, this is the point of strain hardening. Then again in the plastic state also the bar will stress will go on increasing. A time will come when the bar will break. So, this is the ultimate failure. This is the ultimate failure. The maximum tensile stress a material can withstand are raised without breaking. The ultimate strength is maximum stress at the point of end of the plastic state in a strain stress curve prior to break, before breaking that will come. In other word, ultimate tensile stress is defined as the maximum stress a material can withstand is known as ultimate tensile strength. When tensile stress is removed, material do not regain its original shape and size, because stretching beyond the elastic stage up to the end of plastic stage, material in the plastic stage experience irreversible and in elastic stage is a reversible. Due to ultimate stress, material will deform, but do not break. Now, come to the breaking or splitting tensile strength. We have already discussed, we have seen the stress strain curve. The maximum tensile stress a material cannot able to withstand or resist, causing breaking. It is defined as resistance of material to breaking under tensile stress. Breaking tensile stress is developed at the end of plastic stage of material in a stress strain curve. In other words, fracture tensile strength is defined as a stress at which material breaks or fractures and fails. So, it is clear that the value of breaking tensile strength is higher than the ultimate tensile strength. We come again on the curve. Yes. See here, this is the ultimate strength, but here it will not break. There is a breaking action will occur after the ultimate failure, means the material will not bear any stress on the member. So, we can say this is the most important thing, that the breaking tensile strength is more than ultimate strength, and it will more than the yield strength. So, we can easily say that breaking tensile strength is more than the ultimate strength, is more than the yield strength. Now, come to the mechanical properties, specified mechanical properties of deformed bar. This is an IS 1786 2008. This is the type of bar FE 250, FE 415, FE 415D, FE 500, FE 500D, FE 550, FE 550D, FE 600, and this denotes the yield and proof stress in Newton per millimeter square. FE 250, 250 Newton per millimeter square. FE 415, 415 Newton per millimeter square, and so on. FE 600, 600 Newton per millimeter square. The ultimate tensile strength in Newton per millimeter square is Now, above the yield or proof stress, that is 410 to 660. Instead of 600, it is 660 Newton per millimeter square, and at this stage elongation at failure will be 23% in 250, in 415 14.5, in 415D 18%, in Fe 500 12, Fe 500D 16, Fe 550 10, Fe 550D 14.5, and Fe 600, that is a 10% elongation at the time of failure. For all D grade of the total elongation at a maximum force percent on the standard gauge length should not be less than 5. So, it is important. Now, thermo-mechanical properties of the steel. It has extra high strength reinforcing bar. It eliminates any form of twisting. Short intensive cooling as they pass through water cooling system after last rolling mill stand. Reduction in temperature convert the surface layer of a steel bar into the hardened structure, means core will be hardened, surface will be hardened, but core will be seam. Further cooling at atmospheric temperature to equalize core and surface temperature. To equalize the temperature of core and the surface, then the cooling is done at atmospheric temperature. The surface layer gets tempered by heat for the core. Resulting structure is tempered martensite zone at the periphery. So, say this is the bar. So, this is the martensite zone and a fine grain ferrite perlite structure in the central zone. So, this is the central zone. Due to improved property of high strength combines with toughness and ductility, this will improve the toughness and the ductility. The TMT, thermo mechanical treatment, exhibit a definite yield points. Resist temperature up to 500 degree centigrade with no loss of strength. This is an important point. Up to 500 degree centigrade, there will be no loss of the strength. It is more ductile than CTD bars. TMT bar poses excellent bendability that can be bent at any angle due to unique feature of uniform elongation. Withstand bending and rebending with internal dia of 1D to 4D respectively. That could be bend this is up to 1D to 4D. No loss of strength at the weld joint. Easily welded with CTD bars. No preheating or post heating is required for the welding. High fatigue resistance on the dynamic loading. So, TMT bar has high fatigue resistance on dynamic loadings in vibration, etc., etc. This is the type and grade of reinforcing bar. This is the mild steel grade 1, mild steel grade 2, medium tensile steel, high tensile deformed steel bar and TMT bars. The bar diameter up to and including 20 mm, over 20 mm, up to and including 50 mm. For this mild steel grade 2 up to and including 20 mm and over 20 mm up to and including 50 mm. So, see here, this is the yield stress or 0.2% proof stress. See, this is a 250 Newton per millimeter square for up to 20 mm dia, and the minimum elongation is 23%, whereas in the over 20 mm and including 50 mm, that is 240 Newton per millimeter square, and the minimum elongation is 23%. Likewise, for we can discuss here the medium tensile steel up to and including 16 mm, that is 350 Newton per millimeter square, and the elongation, minimum elongation is 20%. Over 16 mm up to and including 32 mm, that is 340 Newton per millimeter square, and the elongation minimum elongation is 20%. For all size, for high strength deformed steel bar, for all size we have 415 to 550 Newton per millimeter square, and the minimum elongation are from 6% to up to 22%, 6% and up to 22%. So, these are the type and grade of reinforcing bar. We have, this is the curve we have discussed already, this is the straining, this is the point, this is the important point, this is a strain hardening, and this is the ultimate failure. After that there will be breaking strength. This is the plastic stage. Okay. We have already discussed here. Now, come to the chemical composition. The percentage of carbon in a steel gives high degree of hardness and strength. Addition of carbon to iron decreases malleability and ductility, reduce its permeability to magnetic forces. Tensile strength of hot rolled steel bar is a maximum between 1% to 1.2% of carbon. The elastic limit and the ultimate strength increases with the carbon content, but at a low rate. Compressive strength increases directly with the carbon content up to 1%. Modulus of elasticity is nearly same for the tension and compression and practically independent of carbon content. This is the important part. The modulus of elasticity is independent of the carbon content, because carbon is a very deciding factors for the steels. But here modulus of elasticity is same, it does not depend upon the carbon content. Ductility decreases as carbon content increases. So, we have to optimize it. The resistance of a steel to shock and blow decreases with the increase of the carbon content. Silicon is added to remove oxygen. Is it? Silicon up to 1.75% appears to increase both ultimate strength and the elastic limit without decreasing ductility. The phosphorus is considered to promote enlargement of the grain, thus produce brittleness. The ultimate strength, yield point and hardness of the steel increases with phosphorus. Resistance of steel to shock decreases by 1% of the phosphorus. Sulfur combines with the iron to form iron sulphide, has a tendency to segregate and form brittle networks at the grain boundary, which are responsible for low melting point. Manganese has a strong affinity with oxygen and sulfur and act as a cleaner of the molten steel. Increase tensile strength, hardenability and dilute the effect of sulfur. Copper increases resistance to the corrosion when present in a small quantity. Arsenic tendency to raise the strength and brittleness. Now, come to the heat treatment. Objective: to develop desired property in the steel. The properties can be controlled and changed by various types of heat treatment. A steel can given composition may be soft, ductile, tough by one heat treatment. Heat treatment affects the nature, amount and character of the metallographic properties. Some of the principal purpose of heat treatment: to enhance properties such as strength, ductility, hardness and toughness, to relieve internal stress and strain, to refine the grain, to remove the gases, to normalize the steel after the heat treatment. In very short, we will discuss the different type of heat treatment, that is hardening, heating the steel above the upper critical limit, upper critical temperature, holding a temperature until the phase equilibrium has established. Martensite is the chief constituent of the hardened steel and fibrous or needle like structure. It could be a brittle. Quenching medium will be brine, water and oil depending on the desired cooling rate. Of course, there will be a poor toughness. Now, come to the tempering. A plain carbon steel that has been hardened is metastable condition. If it is reheated to some temperature below the critical range, more stable condition will be obtained. Modification is affected by the tempering. Higher the temperature of tempering, softer is the product. Annealing, it is a general term used for heating and slow cooling of the metals. Normalizing, heating steel above the critical range and cooling rapidly in the air to normalize it. To define, it is used to define the grain structure of rolling, forging, etc. So, that is the end. Thank you very much. Thank you.